I actually showed somebody this in the office, and they said, "That's my family." But it made me realize these things are pretty common, okay? This is Mrs. Smith, who was a widow, passed away with a $200,000 home that passes through probate. She had a $170,000 annuity, but it had a very large tax cost basis. And what that really means is there's very little tax due to cash it in, so that's going on to the kids. She had a $30,000 life insurance policy, by the way, she took out in 1951 and owned it the entire time. She had a $200,000 custodial TOD. That means transfer on death. That went on to each of the beneficiaries with a step-up in basis, so no tax was due. There was no opportunity to disclaim with any of those assets because it didn't make sense. Can we agree this is not a taxable estate for estate tax purposes? No disclaiming for that purpose. However, she also had a $100,000 IRA account. And it was she named each of her 4 children as equal beneficiaries, and it said, if they predecease me, it goes to their share, goes to their children. Pretty common. There's lots of ways you can put that in a document, but her document was set up so that it would pass through to the next generation. Well, here you have child number 1, the oldest of the family, was 5 years from retirement. Smack dab in the middle of the 15% marginal bracket now. In retirement with his pension, would remain in the 15% bracket between him and his wife. He's in a relatively low bracket. His children, both grandchild 1 and 2, were very successful. And both married very successful people, and both were in a much higher tax bracket than he was. So for him to disclaim at that point would be saying, rather than me pay tax at my 15% rate, I'd like to see you pay it at 40. Right? It doesn't make sense. There wouldn't be a chance to disclaim at that point. So he actually cashed it in, and he's taking the money out, and will be taking it out all in the 15% bracket. Child 2, a little bit younger, but is only 2 years from retirement. Husband and wife both make very good money, and they have very large pensions between state and federal tax. They're at the 35% bracket. However, grandchild 3 and 4, their children, one is still in college, and one is just out of college. And by the way, has anybody heard the unemployment statistics for recent college grads? It's not good, right? It's not good. I've heard 30%, as a matter of fact, and you know, it's tough to get a job today, so getting an education doesn't guarantee you a job when you get out. But what did this do? Well, it's really sad. Grandma passed away, but looking at their situation, for the couple to take it now, they would pay 35% tax. Waiting until they're retired, they have slightly less income, but they're in the middle of the 25% bracket with their pensions and rental income and some other dividend income. So they decided to disclaim their IRA. That meant that $25,000 was split equally between their 2 children. Now, they preferred that it all went to the one in college. What expense do you think they're paying for that they would like to use this money for, right? They wanted to pay it to the college, but Grandma's plan made the decision. Half went to grandchild 3, half went to grandchild 4. Well, are the parents, do you suppose, helping grandchild 4 at all? He's out of college and not working. Student loans, bills to pay. By stepping out of the way and letting that money fall through to these 2 grandchildren, instead of paying 35% tax, the tax came out to be right around 11 to 12% combined for the 2 of them. They've made money by refusing to inherit. So instead of giving them the money they've been giving them from the wages they earn and the investments in other places where they're paying 35% tax, they just didn't pay any tax on this money at all, passed it through to their children who were able to cash it in and report it. After their deductions and exemptions, they have a very, very small tax bill. Grandchild 4 is working, but not up to a level based on his education, but he's still in a pretty good spot.